Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is outside of medicine. Continue the book, The Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read it. Dawn stuffed his mouth, his nostril dripping milk, as shining, long, enduring Odysseus flashed past him, to come in first by far and carry off the cup, while Ajax took the ox. The racer, in all his glory, just stood there, clutching one of the beast's horns, spitting out the downs and sputtering to his comrades. Fall, by heavens, the goddess followed my finish, always beside Odysseus, just like the man's mother, rushing to put his rival in the dust. They all roared with laughter at his expense. Antilochus came in last and carried off his prize with a broad smile and a joke to warm his comrades. "I'll tell you something you've always known, my friend. Down to this every day, and God prefer old-timers. Look at Ajax now, with only a few years on me, but Odysseus, why, he's out of the dark ages. One of the oldest relics, but in green old age, they say, no mean feat, to beat him out in a race for all but our Achilles. Bantering so, but he flattered swift Achilles, and the matchless runner paid him back in kind. Antilochus, how can I let your praise to go unrewarded? Here's more gold, a half-bar more in the bargain." He placed it in his hand, and he was glad to have it. And then Achilles carried into the army's broad ring a spear trailing his long shadow, and laid it down, and beside it placed a battle shield and helmet. The arms Patroclus stripped from Lord Sarpedon, and Achilles rose and challenged all the Argives. "We invite 2 men, our best, to compete for these. Full battle gear, take up your slashing bronze lances, fight it out with each other, duel before the troops. The soldier who gets in first and cuts a rival's flesh, who pierces armor to draw blood and reach his entails, I will give that man this broadsword, silver-studded, handsome. Trajan work I stripped from Arterispus. But both fighters will share this armor, beat it off, and will give them a victor banquet in our tents." Huge Telamonian Ajax rose to meet the challenge. Tydeus' son rose too, the powerful Diomedes. Both men armed at opposite sides of the forces. Into the ring they strode and met, burning for battle, glances menacing, wild excitement seizing all their comrades. And just come in range, just close to each other, they made 3 rapid changes. 3 longs, and then Ajax stabbed through Tydides' round balanced shield, but failed to reach his flesh. Saved by the breastplate just behind the sparkler, but now Diomedes thrusting over the giant massive shield again and again, threatening to graze his throat, the spear point glinting sharp, and such terror for Ajax struck his Argive friends. They cried for them to stop, to divide the prizes, share and share alike. But the hero Achilles took the great long sword and gave it to Diomedes, slung in its sheath on a supple, well-cut sword strap. And now Achilles set out a lump of pig iron, the short Ischen used to put with all his power before the swift runner. Pylades brought him down, and hauled it off in the ships with all his other wealth. Achilles rose up tall and challenged every Achaeans. "Now, men, come forward, compete to win this prize, an ingot big enough to keep the winter in eye for 5 willing years. Though his rich estates lie far away in the country, it won't be want of iron that brings his shepherd or plowman into town. He will be well stocked in home. That was his offer. Up stood Pelopidas, always braced for battle. Leontius flanked him, strong, intense as a god. Then Telamon's son, great Ajax. Lord Appius too. They stood in a row. Big Appius heaved the iron, swung and heaved it, and comrades burst out laughing. Next, the veteran Leontius gave the weight a hurl. That Ajax came up third and again flung it hard, with his rippling brawny arm to pass all other marks. But then Polypeutes, braced for battle, took the weight, and far as a seasoned herdsman, flinging his throw's staff, whirling in flight across his cows to keep them all in line. So far he out-hurled the whole field. The armies rolled, and the powerful Polypeutes men sprang up to bear the king's trophy back to their hollow ships. Archery next, and again Achilles set out from iron, dark grey trophies, 10 double-headed axes, 10 with single heads. He stepped the mast of the dark-prowed man-of-war far down the beach and tethered a fluttering dove atop the pole. Its foot looped from a light cord, then challenged the man to shoot and hit that mark. The man who hits the fluttering dove up there can carry the whole array of double axes home. Whoever misses the bird but still hits the cord, he is the loser. True, but he takes the single head. Chaucer and the master archer rose to meet the challenge. Meriones joined him, Idomeneus rough and ready an aid. They dropped Lot in a bronze helmet, shook it hard, and Lot fell to Chaucer's to shoot first. He quickly loosed an arrow, full draw force, but never swore to the archer. He'd slaughter splendid victims, newborn lambs, so he missed the dove. Apollo grudged him that, but he hit the cord that tethered the bird's foot. The tearing arrow split the cord straight through, and the bird shot into the sky and left the tether dangling down to ground, and the armies roared applause. But already clutching a shaft while Chaucer aimed, Meriones leapt to snatch the bow from his hand and quickly swore to the distant deadly archery. It slaughtered splendid victim, newborn lambs. Up under the clouds he glimpsed the fluttering dove, and there, as she wheeled her, he hit her right beneath the wing and straight through the heart, and out the arrow passed, plunged at Meriones' foot, and stabbed the earth hard. The dove settled onto the mast of the dark-prowed ships. Her neck wrenched the oary, her breathing wings went slack, and life breath flew from her limbs that instant. Down she dropped, a long drop down to the ground. I'm going to stop here today. Thank you for watching.